What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here with another NFL video. And in this video, I'm going to take you through my predictions for week number 16 and week number 17 in the NFL using ESPN's NFL Playoff Machine 2018 edition. So I'm going to roll through my predictions for week 16 and week 17 to give you a look at possibly if your team could make the playoffs, and just taking a look at the entire NFL playoff picture and probably seeing my predictions as to who I think is going to make it into January, into the NFL playoffs this year. If you guys have your opinions, leave them in the comment section, as well as possibly even the link to your playoff predictions or a picture. Whatever you guys want to put in the comment section is up to you, but I'm going to give you my predictions. Let me know what you think of my predictions in the comment section below. Also, Gronk, spike that like button and subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL content like this. So let's roll into the predictions, starting off with week number 16. I am recording this as of Monday night following the New Orleans Saints victory over the Carolina Panthers. So that's where I'm at. All right, so let's start out over here. So we have the 7-7 Redskins, who are still technically in the playoff run and race right now, against the Tennessee Titans. This is a tough game, but I do look at the Redskins as an injured, banged up football team. The Tennessee Titans are at home, where they've been much better this season. They also got a big victory in week 15 over the Giants, much needed victory on the road. I think they take this one at home in a game that they really do need to make the playoffs. Then we go to the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions. This will not be an easy game for Minnesota, as it is on the road, where they have struggled mightily this season. Their offensive line has not been playing well, but I do believe with the offensive coordinator switch and the way their defense is playing consistently, I'm going to go with the Vikings. This is another team that needs a big victory here to stay in the NFL playoffs and to maintain that 6th seed. Now, the LA Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens, arguably the biggest and best game of this week. Of course, we know that the Ravens are currently the 6th seed in the playoffs. It's showing the Titans right now, but as of week number 15, after week 15, they are the 6th seed in the playoffs. They take on the LA Chargers, who are looking to get that number 1 seed in the NFL playoffs. If Kansas City does drop a game, potentially to a team like Seattle, then the Chargers could make that run and push for the 1st seed. So this is important. And I don't know. This is a really difficult game. You could see the Chargers drop one here, as they had a huge victory in week 15 against the Chiefs. But I do believe that the extra time to prepare for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson will pay off, as well as the fact that Melvin Gordon and Keenan Allen will be back for this game. So I am going to go with the LA Chargers to win. And then we have the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. Bills have been playing well as of late. Josh Allen is giving them a boost, as well as their defense. But the Patriots beat the Bills. That's just what they do. And at home. Plus, they're not going to drop another game here in a crucial one for them to maintain a spot as a division leader. So I'm going to take the Patriots. Then we have the New York Giants at the Indianapolis Colts. I am going to go with the Colts. The Colts are another team just like the Titans. They could potentially get that 6th seed. And if both the Titans and the Colts have the same record, which they won't because they play in week 17, then the Colts would advance, as you can see right here. The Carolina Panthers play the Atlanta Falcons in a game that means pretty much nothing. I am actually going to go with Atlanta. I know that's kind of sad to say. They are on the road here, but the way that Cam Newton is playing right now, in terms of he is very injured. You can tell that he can't really throw the football. Yes, the Panthers give it their all, and they have for the previous couple of weeks, especially that matchup against the Saints. They gave it their absolute all, especially on defense. But Cam Newton is just too banged up right now. He can't make the throws, and Atlanta did play well against the Cardinals, so I expect them to pick up a late season victory over their rival, the Panthers, here in a game where Cam Newton may not even play. The Houston Texans at the Philadelphia Eagles. Another big game. The Eagles are looking to get into the playoffs, squeak in as a 6th seed, or potentially even knock off Dallas as the winner of the NFC East. But I am going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes. I know that this sounds a little bit strange considering I am a Patriots fan, but I really like the way that the Eagles did play against the Rams. And yes, I know the Texans do need to lose for the Patriots to get the bye, but I do really believe this could possibly happen. I think when we look at the Texans, all season long, I've sort of been saying they've had a very easy schedule, and I think that has been the case. They have not been very impressive over the last couple of weeks, losing to the Colts and playing a close one against the Jets. I think here on the road, the Texans have never beaten the Eagles in the history of their franchise, whether it's the Texans or the Oilers. They have never beaten the Eagles. And at home, the Eagles are a better football team. Their defensive line played really well last week against the Rams. They dominated with the run game, and Nick Foles looks really solid. So I'm going to go with the Eagles, although I would not be surprised if the Texans do win that game. San Francisco at Chicago, or Chicago at San Francisco, my bad. Yes, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers did pick up a big upset victory over Seattle, but Seattle is a division foe. I'm going to go with the Bears because it's an unfamiliar team with a great defense, and the Bears need to keep winning. The Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are still in the playoff race, and that is the reason why I'm going to pick them. They're also at home, where they've been dominant this season. The LA Rams play the Arizona Cardinals, and the Cardinals look like the worst team in football right now. I think the Rams do get back on track, Gurley or no Gurley. Packers at Jets. I am going to go with the Packers. I don't know, actually, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't win. Okay, we're going to go with the Jets because if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, I'm going with the Jets. So I'm going to go with the Jets here. This game doesn't matter to playoff conversation, but whatever. I'm going to go with the Jets here in this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the New Orleans Saints, another massive game. The Saints win this game, and they pretty much clinch the first seed in the NFC. As for the Steelers, they are looking to maintain position as the number one team in the AFC North, and that victory against New England was absolutely massive. So if Pittsburgh does win this game, they clinch the AFC North. New Orleans has not looked so good recently, but they are at home. So I'm going to go with the Saints. I do like the way the Saints defense has played of late, and if they can get a pass rush on Big Ben, they will win this game. If they cannot, I think they will struggle on defense, and the Steelers will score some points, unlike what they did against New England, even at home. But I do think that the Steelers are going to make this a competitive game. It's going to go down to the wire. And I'm a little bit concerned about Drew Brees recently, but I'm going to go with the Saints nonetheless. Cincinnati at the Browns. I'm going with the team that's hotter as of late. I'm going with the Browns. This game doesn't really matter. The Browns are out of the playoffs, but I do think this is positive if you're a Browns team to keep seeing this team pick up some victories. Kansas City at Seattle. This is probably the biggest game of the week, in my opinion. Not really because of seeding or anything, but this is a very interesting, intriguing matchup. Kansas City, obviously the number one seed going into this week in the AFC. They just dropped the game to the Chargers. And if the Chiefs do lose and the Chargers win, then the Chiefs would drop down to a wild card position, while the Seattle Seahawks have pretty much assured a wild card spot, but they can't continue to lose. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, I've actually predicted this game multiple weeks in advance. I think the Seahawks are just really good at home. It's a tough place to play. And I think, yeah, the Chiefs did lose. They have more time to prepare for the Seahawks in this game. But this just screams the Seahawks upset to me. They're not going to come out and lay an egg 2 weeks in a row. And yeah, the Seahawks looked rough last week against the 49ers, but I think they bounce back here. And I think we'll see a little bit of concern from Chiefs fans and NFL fans when it comes to the Chiefs after losing 2 games in a row. But it is to 2 quality opponents. I'm going to go with Seattle in an upset. The Bucks at Dallas. I'm going to go with Dallas, although I don't think this is going to be very easy. I think the Bucks have played some quality football as of late and have made a lot of games really close. And Dallas can't really blow anybody out due to their lack of offense. But I do think Dallas at home has been really impressive. They can run the football, maintain possession, and their defense is playing really well. The Broncos at the Oakland Raiders. This game does not matter. I do like the way that the Raiders have played recently, and that's why I'm going to take the Raiders. They're at home. This is an AFC West divisional matchup. The Broncos are very banged up, and I just think the Broncos are giving up on the season. So I'm going to go with Oakland. Week number 17, we start off in an AFC North matchup with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. I have to go with the Ravens here. Although this could easily be an upset game, the Ravens do really need to win this game, and it's at home. The New England Patriots and the New York Jets, the Patriots will clinch at least the third seed with a victory in this game, and that's exactly what they will do. They will pick up a win and advance to 11-5. The Dolphins at the Bills. I am going to go with an upset. The Bills at home over the Dolphins. The Dolphins traveling to a cold climate in Buffalo in week number 17 is never a good thing. Miami has struggled on the road, and I think they will in this game against Buffalo. Carolina at New Orleans. I will go with the Saints. Cam Newton might not play in this game. Who knows? We might see Teddy Bridgewater, but I think he's good enough to win that game regardless. So I'm going to go with the Saints. The Eagles at the Redskins. I will go with the Eagles to win a huge game and maybe put them in the playoff conversation when it's all said and done. We'll have to see how this really wraps up here. But the Eagles put themselves in a decent position at, I believe, 9-7. Yes, 9-7 to maybe get into the playoffs. Now, the Dallas Cowboys play on the road against the Giants in a very interesting game, but I just have too much faith in the Dallas defense to go with Eli Manning. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys, even though it's on the road. The Colts at the Titans. Now, I just think the Colts are the better team. So I'm going to go with the Colts. I think they've played better on offense. I think they've played just as good on defense. And they're kind of shaping into form. Andrew Luck's a baller, and he's better than Marcus Mariota. So I'm going to go with the Colts. The Pittsburgh Steelers host the Cincinnati Bengals. I will take the Steelers, thank you very much, over a banged-up Bengals team, and that will secure the 4th seed for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Green Bay Packers host the Detroit Lions. This game doesn't matter. I don't care. But the Lions did dominate the previous matchup. If Aaron Rodgers does not play, I will take the Detroit Lions. I don't really know. Let's go with the Packers. Who cares? All right, so the next one, the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to go with the Bucs. I think the Bucs have played well. They're at home. I think Atlanta, it is kind of turned it on from that Cardinals game, and I did think they'll win the Week 16 matchup against Carolina, but that's mostly due to the fact that Cam Newton's not healthy and probably won't play. On the road against Tampa Bay's played well enough to deserve a Week 17 victory. Jacksonville at Houston. I will go with Houston. They really need this win to at least get the 3rd seed and maintain that spot. And actually, you know what? This game probably won't even... Oh, it will. Let me just check one sec. Just let me check this, okay? All right. So if Jacksonville does win this game, so Houston will have to play for something in this game. So if Jacksonville does win this game, the Colts will become the 3rd seed. So this is very important for the Texans to play this game. So that is why I will pick them. The Chargers at the Broncos. This is a Chargers victory because they need to hold on to the 1st seed. So I'm going to pick the Chargers. The Oakland Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. I will take the Chiefs. Now, of course, the big victory in Week 16 by the Seattle Seahawks over the Chiefs will dictate the position of the Chargers and the Chiefs. And because I have the Chiefs getting upset by the Seahawks, that means the Chargers will be the 1st seed in the AFC playoffs. I will take the Rams over the 49ers to finish out the season to get that 2nd spot over the Bears, who are lurking in the background. If the Rams do lose against any of these teams the next 2 weeks, then the Bears likely will take their spot as a bye. In Week 17, I think that the Bears will rest their players in Minnesota. Minnesota will be going all out to get this victory, and I think they will get the victory to advance to the 6th seed and make the playoffs, while the Seattle Seahawks will finish out strong because they can't afford to lose. If the Cardinals do win, this means that the Seattle Seahawks would travel on the road to Chicago. I guess it doesn't really matter, but these two teams, it doesn't really matter too much, but the Seattle Seahawks would play on the road in Chicago, which I think they would rather play in Seattle. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks as the 5th seed at 10-6 to play in Dallas instead of going on the road to Chicago in the wild card round. So those are my predictions for the NFL playoffs in terms of leading up to the NFL playoffs and the NFL playoff bracket. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to make the playoffs? What do you think of my predictions? Am I accurate? Am I off? Any things you would change? I understand. I think the biggest thing that people will be interested in is the Texans potentially losing to the Eagles next week, and also the Colts making the playoffs over the Ravens. as well as the Chargers, mostly AFC things, and the Chargers beating out the Chiefs for the first seed. I think the AFC is really up in the air because there's a lot of close games. In terms of the NFC, I think it's pretty clear here. If the Vikings do lose to the Bears, though, they would be eliminated and the Eagles would make the playoffs. So just keep a lookout for those things. I think I pretty much went over most of the scenarios that are likely to happen. If I didn't, let me know any of the ones that you're looking forward to seeing. There are some other ones, like if the Colts lose here and the Titans win, the Titans would make the playoffs. There's a few. If the Ravens beat the Chargers, the Ravens would make the playoffs. The Chiefs would be the number 1 seed. So those are some things just to look out for. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, Gronk, spike that like button and subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL. It's Mitch. Peace out.